Hi guys, Kat here. Today's recipe I'm gonna share with you is called Toa Nowh or fermented bean paste, Northern Laos Thai version fermented bean paste. I'm very excited to share this recipe with you because a lot of you have asked me how to make this recipe, and I haven't made it myself before, and I didn't know how to make it, so that's why I couldn't share it with you earlier. But just recently I watched my parents make a batch and I'm like, wow, it looks easy enough. I think I can attempt to make it myself. So today I'm gonna share with you my parents' version of the Northern Laos Thai fermented bean paste. Let's get started. Okay, first step, you need soybeans. Soybeans, this is a 3-pound bag. Okay, and it's this brand, but you can use any brand that you can find. This happens to be at my local store. So soybeans. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna roast it up. Okay, so dump the whole bag in there. Sorry for all the background noise, guys. So what you want to do is set it on a really low temperature and just roast this. Set it on really low and just roast. Okay, when you're roasting this, make sure that you're always constantly stirring so that it doesn't burn. And just low roast it. So always remember to stir it. On low heat, very low heat. If you have it on too high, it's gonna burn. Okay, so you wanted to get it like this. This is done. Okay, next we're gonna pour this into a bucket of water. Oops. So this is cold water. You just dump it in, the roasted soybeans, and we're gonna let this sit for maybe 3 minutes or so, and then we're gonna rinse it off. Okay, so next step, you wanna try to get out as much of the black shells, the roasted shells that are darkened. Use your hands, I guess. Much easier. And then just give it a rinse. And that's it. And then we're gonna go boil this. Okay, so you want to bring up a pot of water to a boil. When it boils, you want to go ahead and dump in your roasted soybeans. Okay, and then we want to let this boil. Okay, this is an important step. Very important step. Once the soybeans have come to a boil like this, you want to lower your flame even lower, and you want it to let it simmer to continue cooking for the rest of the way. So lower your flame down as low as possible and just let this simmer for at least 2 to 3 hours. Okay, you don't want it to continuously cooking in high flame. So simmer is the key here. Okay, so simmer for at least 2 to 3 hours or until it softens. This is the traditional way of doing it, but you can use a pressure cooker if you have one. If you have a big enough size pressure cooker, you can use that. That will help speed up the process. But since I don't have a pressure cooker big enough, I'm doing it the traditional way, just letting it cook and simmer for a couple hours. Okay? Okay guys, this has been simmering for about 4 hours actually. It took 4 hours, and this is what it looks like. It should be soft. See if we can get one to show you. So it should look like this. It should
have to be like this.
Yeah, it should be able to smash it with your fingers, okay? So see, like this. So it has to be this texture. Okay, so once again, smash it, it's like this. Okay, so mine took 4 hours. Okay, next step, straight from the pot, we're gonna strain it. I'm using a rice basket, but you can use a strainer, whatever you have to strain the broth. So, see? Oops. Smash. Okay, so. Okay, so I'm gonna get all the juice, the broth. Strain it all out. And next, what I have here is also another rice basket. The best kind is a rice basket. So if you can find a basket like this, that'd be perfect. Then what you need is a cloth. This is like a flour sack cloth. You know, like I think these are made from flour sacks. So you need to line that up with your basket, and we're gonna pour our cooked soybeans into it. So if you find a cloth or a towel like this, okay, and the basket, once again, you can find this in Asian stores. This is just a steamer, rice steamer basket. If you don't have one of these ones, you can use the one that earlier we used to drain the broth out of. Okay. My dad's here helping me, guiding me. I thought I was gonna do it, but he's gonna help me. And of course, this is their version, my parents' version of the fermented bean, Northern Laos Thai version. Okay. And what we need to do is we're gonna let this we cover it, huh, Dad? We're gonna cover it, and then we're gonna let it sit in the sun for about how many days, Dad?
Depends on how hot.
Depends on how hot.
Yeah.
So like for California, here in Northern California, temperature in the summertime is like mid 70s or low 80s. So it'll probably take about, you want it to ferment, so that's just the stage it's going to ferment. You want it to sit in the basket in the sun, I would say about 3 to 4 days, Dad, for California.
Yeah.
Or maybe
It's only 2 days.
in Texas, they said in Texas only takes 3 days.
2, sometimes 2 because it's really
2
hot.
days because it's very hot in Texas. But here in California, we'll just have to play it by ear. So
Okay. Get more towels.
or put more towel
Put it
to
on
cover it, to like weigh it down more.
Yeah.
Actually to cover it. So that's how it's
And
gonna
more
ferment.
warmer and ferment quick.
Yeah. So the warmer the weather, the faster the fermentation will take. Yeah, you just let this out, sit in the sun all day. Then at nighttime, what you want to do is maybe get a bucket and cover it so that it kind of stays warm. Okay, so I'm gonna get some more towel. I'm gonna cover it. Okay, so we're gonna, my doggies, quiet, baby. I mean, Georgie. Okay, so we're gonna use some towels to put it more on top, just to keep it warm. It helps keep it warm, and like my dad said, the warmer this thing stays, the faster the fermentation will take. So just take some old towels or hand towels and just Lay it on top. And it's gonna drip. The moisture from there, it's gonna drip into the pan. So find a pan or something to keep this in, so less mess. Okay, so you get the idea. And just put it on top. And then right now, because it's late, my dad's gonna put a bucket over it to help keep it warm through the night. So in the morning, you'll just take the bucket out and let it sit out in the sun until it ferments. Okay. Yeah.
For tonight.
Yeah, for tonight, we're just gonna cover it up, help keep it warm. Okay, so we'll check it in a couple days. Okay, guys, the broth of the soybean that you cooked in, you want to save some of the broth. Save about a jar or 2 jars of it because we're gonna be needing it for later. Okay, so put it in a jar and you just leave it out on the counter. You don't have to refrigerate it or nothing until we use it. So just make sure that you save some of the broth. Okay. Okay, guys. So mine's been fermenting for about 3 days. I was very lucky. I got some very nice hot weather. So this is ready. How you would know it's ready? We're gonna, as you can see, it shrunk a lot too. Remember when we first put it, it was kind of full. It's gonna shrink. It's gonna smell. Of course, the smell is gonna get you, and it's gonna be sticky. The beans are gonna be like, you can tell, it's kind of like gluey. Okay, so this is when you know it's ready. It's the smell, the appearance of the soybeans. Okay, you don't want it to over ferment it, otherwise it's gonna be very stinky too. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna smash it or blend it all up. Okay, but make sure it's like this, guys. See the glue, the stickiness of it, and the smell. Woo! Strong. Make sure you do this outside. Okay, so next step, what we're gonna do is we're gonna blend it. I have a blender, a food processor actually, so that will work best. Okay, so we're gonna blend it up. Okay, so now we're gonna blend it up. Okay, and power on.
It's on?
No, just go ahead and press it. My hand is sticky, guys. I got my dad helping me.
It's good.
This is good?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't want to over blend it. You want still some texture. Okay? So, like this. Okay? Okay, next step, once you get it all blended, we're going to add our seasoning, okay? We're going to add some dried chili peppers, chili flakes. Any brand that you like that's spicy, that would work the best, okay? So, I'm going to add, how much I put, Dad?
Put it.
Then put it?
Yeah.
Okay.
More.
Well, I should have measured cup, huh?
More. Depends on where we're going to eat. Okay, enough.
Okay, for now? Okay. So that's about what? About a cup. And salt. We're going to do 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4 big spoon. Okay, and then we're gonna mix this in. Let's use this. Should I use my hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, my hand? Probably to massage it in, huh?
Then
Okay. Okay, so hand is best to mix it in. This is like playing with Play-Doh. Dilute Play-Doh. Play-Doh. I think it needs more pepper. Yeah, it needs more pepper. So the spiciness level is up to you. We like to see it, the color to be a little bit red. spicy. Oh, you know what we forgot? The MSG, huh, Dad? If you're gonna eat it right away, if you know you can consume it right away, you could add the MSG now. But if you're gonna plan to store it or gonna make a big batch, then don't add the MSG, because the MSG will make it flavorful, but yet it will also, if you let it store a long time, it's gonna make it sour. We don't want that. Okay, so that's very important. Now I'm gonna taste. It's salty. Yeah, I think more pepper. I want this batch to be spicy. So yeah, it's really up to you. Pepper, the amount is really up to you. Okay, do I need to add the water at all this time, or is this good?
It's okay now.
Okay, yeah, so you remember I told you to save the soybean broth. Sometimes, like when you're mashing it up and it gets too dry and your blender won't smash it, then you add the soy broth. But since mine worked perfectly without it, I don't need to use it. Okay, but for those of you who are using a blender that you have a hard time blending, then go ahead and add a little bit of water, so just to get it blended. Yeah, I don't want to put MSG because this is a small batch. I'm going to be using it. So it turns out my dad said we need more salt. So add 1 more spoon. 2 more. Okay. And then now we're going to add the MSG. This is optional, but if you want it to be very flavorful, this is a secret. Right here.
1 spoon?
1 spoon? I say 2, Dad. I like MSG. See, that's optional. Up to you how much you want to put in, okay? MSG is what makes everything taste yummy. If you're against it or if you never use it, then yeah, don't use it. That's up to you. But I grew up eating it. I'm not afraid to eat it. People can say causes this and that, but you know what? I really don't care because I like it. It makes everything taste yummy. So you want to mix it really well. And as you can see right now, it's very sticky. But once you put it in the jar to store, it will disappear. The stickiness will disappear. Okay? So now we're going to put it in the jar. Okay, so to store it, get a glass jar. Okay? Any glass jar that you can find. And just put it in there. And you want to let this continue to ferment even more. You can't eat this right away, okay? It's not going to be the same. So this needs to sit in the jar for how long, Dad? Before it's ready to eat? Huh? Really?
Yeah.
Okay, my dad said if you add MSG, you can eat it right away. But if you don't put MSG, then let it sit for at least 3 months, 3 to 6 months. But you know, the longer this...
The best.
Yeah, the longer you let it ferment, the better tasting it will be. So we have one that we made that we let sit for how many years, Dad? 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's still delicious. So it's like wine. It ages as it ferments. Okay. And voila, fermented soybean paste. Dilute Northern Laos fermented soybean paste, Toa Nowh. This is actually get more redder as it ferments. So you want to at least let it age for 6 months before you even open it. I mean, at least that's what I would prefer. But if you're in a hurry to use it and you did put MSG, you can use it right away. Otherwise, I would at least let it sit a couple weeks before you open it up and use it. But for me, I'm gonna let it age for at least 6 months. 6 months up to a year to 2 years is the best. So the longer you let it age, the tastier it will be. Thanks for watching, guys. Please don't forget to share and subscribe.